Hello gamers, this is Cyrus Hygon. We're going to be playing some Rise of Kingdoms today. And what we're going to do today is give a basic overview of some of the things that are going to give you a lot of value for the amount of time that you have to sink into the game. Without much further ado, I just want to basically get right into it, but I do want to give a couple shout outs. There are some amazing YouTubers out there, Chizgul, Wick. A lot of these tips are things that they have either directly said or things that I have picked up and then kind of reverse engineered to make work for me in my game. They are fantastic for your mid game to late game, especially when it comes to what the meta is and how to take best advantage of all of your commanders. This is more geared for your beginning to 10 million power. You don't have all the commanders, you don't have access to tier 4 units. You're just trying to figure out the best way of taking advantage of what you do have. That's what this video is for. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start off by talking about events. And so what you have here is right up here, you're going to have all of your events, and well, not all of them, there's a good chunk that are elsewhere. Here in your event calendar, it's going to show you what's going on. This does not show all of them. This just shows all of them that are currently active. You'll see some of the big ones that are coming up, but for instance, the Wheel of Fortune, that was not visible yesterday before reset. Reset is at midnight UTC, so whatever time that happens to be for you, for me it's about 7 o'clock. You'll have events fall off, you'll have events jump on, and this is where you're going to be able to see what's going on and what kind of deals you can get going on for them. So right here we have the Wheel of Fortune. This is a fantastic event for getting commanders. It's very simple. You have spend once, spend 5 times, and there's a escalating reward based on how much you've invested into it. This one in particular is offering Richard I, fantastic commander, but that's basically what this does. You'll also see the Osiris League inside of this. If you click on the go, then go to events, you'll see daily quests, weekly quests, and these right here are going to be things that you can earn these aurics for. If you go back over here to your grand finales, you can actually bet those aurics in the competition. And so you'll be able to choose which side you think is most likely to succeed. And then the remaining pool is going to be split between the winners. You can also take those and go into here and you can purchase things with those aurics. For me, this right here is basically just aesthetics. It's just there for looks. Everything else, you'll notice that I've either already purchased all of them or am working on. Okay, so the Mightiest Governor. This one is constantly not constantly going. It comes in and out pretty frequently. It's a 6-day event. Each day you're going to have different things that are going to be required of you. You'll get an overall rank. This is a very high value event that unless you're really investing a lot of money into the game, you're going to have difficulty getting to the high value options. These daily events are pretty easy to accomplish. You'll notice my rank is 184 for the day. If you go to the rankings, 141, 104, 184. I do spend money on this game, but I don't spend a ton of money on this game. And as a result of that, the people that are at the top are going to be able to overcome that fairly easily. Today's event, there we go. Today's event is just gathering resources. So the more resources you gain, you get points. You can always find out what that amounts to right here, and then you can use that to accomplish the tasks. I highly recommend doing each day's at least to the gold key, because you're going to be able to get 6 gold keys for those. and those can give you epic, elite, epic, and legendary commanders, and the statues for them, as well as other rewards. This is also one of the regular events. Here we'll have Fill the Storehouse. It is purely based on gathering resources. You'll notice as we get further into the videos that gathering is one of the primary um, primary commanders that I focus on, and as a result of that, I can usually fill these out pretty quickly without too much hassle. And this one's going to give you the option of being able to choose Cleopatra, Sonduck, or Ashita Mitsunari as the rewards for those. Once you acquire the challenge respected to it, it's just a box you'll be able to open up and make a choice. Here you see the Warpath. This one is a super high value one. I highly recommend going through. You'll notice that there's 4 gold keys visible right here, one for each unit type: infantry, cav, archery, and siege. And once you build 2,000 of those units at the tier 2 level or higher, you're going to get access to that key. So, you compare that with, say, even Mightiest Governor, where you're going to get 1, and you have to do 6 days worth of it to get any kind of real rewards. For instance, and I will say, for starters, they are very real rewards. 180 Julius Caesar tokens would be fantastic, but being able to keep up with the big spenders on your server might not be something you can do. If you can, fantastic, by all means. It's a great way of boosting your overall power and efficiency. You're going to get a lot of value out of it, but at the same time, it's a video game. You don't really want to spend hundreds of dollars in this. This is all you're going to do, right? So if that's in your wheelhouse, if big spending is in your wheelhouse of things to do, by all means, spend big. But for the majority of players, I personally recommend accomplishing the other objectives in your regular events. You're going to get a lot of value out of these. You're not going to have to fight against the big dogs in the server. So Warpath is fantastic. 4 golden keys plus a bunch of resources, and then once you get to that 10,000 mark, you're going to get 20,000 experience points worth of books, 6 hours worth of universal speed ups, and an extra 50,000 gold, which is great. Era Breakthrough, this one right here is actually one of the things that you're going to, it doesn't go away. On these, you'll see time remaining, that's before it ends. So this is going to have 1 day, 1 hour and 46. 1 hour and 46 is how long it's going to be before reset, based on the current time. And then 1 day from now, the whole thing will end. So this is going to have a full another day of being able to get these rewards. I believe it's a 3-day event that ends up being 12 gold keys. That's a lot of golden keys. That's a lot of options, a lot of opportunities to get that same Julius Caesar that we saw from Mightiest Governor. He's on that. You also have quite a few others. So I highly recommend looking at your regular events and taking the option or opportunity to go ahead and break through on those. Now, communities, this is just a go in, link your account to these various social medias, and you'll get extra rewards for it. In this case, it's going to be 200 gems. That's fantastic. It's really helpful to get as many gems as possible. I don't do it because, in all honesty, I like to keep my my gaming life and my social media life kind of separate. So that's going to be its own thing. But if it works out for you, it's fantastic. By all means, do take advantage of that. Ark of Osiris is going to be honestly, it's a really cool event. I haven't had an opportunity to get into it, but imagine Capture the Flag, and you kind of have a general idea. There's a lot more nuance to it, but it's going to give you some fantastic rewards as an alliance, as a kingdom. So if you can get in on this, I recommend going and watching Chizgirl's videos or Wick's videos on the Ark of Osiris. They give a fantastic breakdown of strategy and how to accomplish how to get in and what's expected. Alright, so there's your first set of them. On top of that, you can also go to your monument. This shows up fairly early as a building that you can build. And if you click on this right here, you'll notice that the history of Kingdom is going, and you'll see that there's a lot of rewards in here that you have an opportunity to take advantage of. The very first one, if you're starting your account right off the bat and you're coming to a new server, 20,000 governors enter the Bronze Age. So it's a race to get to the Bronze Age. If you can get to that point before the timer clicks off, you're going to get access to a gold key, some elite statues, and 200 gems. And basically, it'll tell you what you need to do to be able to get the rewards. So it's just another one of those things that you can accomplish. Like this one right here, we did not get this because we didn't control an altar at the end of the countdown. So we missed out on 60 hours of universal speed ups, as well as 2,000 gems. That would have been fantastic. That would have been a huge deal. Another one right here, a total of 1,000 alliance flags built in the kingdom. Nobody on the server managed to pull this off, so nobody on the server got this. Militarism, so these are ones we got. 100 level 2 or above barbarian forts. When this was going down, our alliance was actually really small. I think we ended up with like 60 or 70 forts, but still couldn't capture that last bit. So this right here, all governors defeated 40,000 level 18 plus barbarians together. We're at 9,884. This is a kingdom-wide event, and this is the one we're on right now. So this is probably something I'm going to put some time in to try to get that 40,000 deal for not just me, not just my alliance, but also the entire kingdom. So it's stuff like this that you can accomplish. It's going to kind of guide what you're doing when you're in. And by doing that, you're going to be able to get the biggest bang for your buck. Speaking of which, there's another deal right here. This right here is going to give you a quick verification as a result of being able to pull it off. You're going to get rewards. It'll show you what they are. In this case, it was 300 experience points packs. Not that big a deal, but it is something that you can get extra value from. So there's two of your events. You're also going to occasionally have stuff in here. This is just daily stuff for the most part. But one more really big one is actually right up here. So you have your regular quests, and all of these are fantastic. I highly recommend keeping an eye on these and accomplishing them as they are possible to accomplish. We don't have level 22 barbarians on the map yet, so we can't do that. But we have accomplished up to level 21s, and that's why that's here. But if you click this tab over here, you're going to notice that there's activity points. Each one of these quests is going to give you a certain amount of activity points represented by this number right here. And if you get to 100, you'll notice that there's a gold key, a crystal key, a challenge ticket, a magic box, and 3 epic commander sculptures. So that's actually a really big deal. Alright, you won't get this crystal key until you have access to the blacksmith, unless I'm mistaken. Challenge ticket only shows up if you've accessed Sunset Canyon. But the gold key, that's an extra gold key per day, right? Extra commander sculptures, so that's being able to take that hero commander that you have and boost them up. So those are the real daily things that you can get done that are going to give you a lot of value for the time that you put in the game. In the next couple of videos, we're going to be kind of going over different things that you can do to keep that the amount of time necessary to accomplish those tasks down to a minimum. And we will cover things like commanders, army structure, building order, research, things of this nature. Because one of the things that I've noticed in researching this game is that there's a lot of amazing information out there for your mid to end game. But Unless you're going to do a jumper account, which if you are just getting started in the game, I highly recommend you do a jumper account. By all means, look up Chizgul's jumper account information. Um, it's a huge advantage, especially if you can get on Discord and get into a group where they're already working on that. You're going to get a huge advantage, not only in the alliance that you're in, and being able to kind of just right off the bat go into it, but it's also based on helping individuals who are just getting started. So those are going to be your real powerful time spenders. Up here, you're going to notice these are your action points for the day. All right, and it's going to go up based on what nation you have or what bonuses you have. So I play Germany, for instance. That gives an increase to action point regeneration. You're also going to get a 500 point action point boost every day that you can use to get that up. And what you really want to do is you want to think of your account in terms of resource management. And that's not just your food, wood, stone, gold, gems, but it's also your action points, the time that you spend in the game, um, the soldiers that you have, because there are things that will actually get those to die, like fighting other players in structures. So you really want to make sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck when you're playing this game, especially if you're going to be doing it as a free-to-play player. Even if you're going to be doing it as a pay-to-win player, I mean, why not be more efficient, right? Why not get that opportunity? Now, having said that, you do want to take into consideration that you're not going to be able to work at peak efficiency in all situations. So what you really want to do is find out what the peak choice would be, what the optimal choice would be, and then from that, gauge what you have. A lot of people get so stuck on the meta and what is absolutely, this is the best thing for this task. That's fantastic if you have access to that. But if you don't, then you want to look for something that's going to be able to give you a similar effect with the tools and resources that you have available, right? So if you don't have a bunch of money to jump into the game, well, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You just have to play a little smarter than the next guy, right? And know that somebody who's going to invest time, energy, and money is going to be able to beat you in any game that has a pay-to-win feature. You can only work so hard to to overcome that, and they do that for a purpose. It's the design is to be able to keep the servers running. So keep that in mind and know that even if you can't beat someone with raw power, there's generally speaking going to be some way to pull that off. And in this game, a big part of that is going to be in your teamwork and in what alliance you choose. So I'm going to go over a couple more things real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and call this an end to the video. But what we're going to go over is how to get the best value from your alliance, and how to be a valuable member of your alliance. As you can see, we are Knights of the Void. That's the alliance that I'm running. We're running at almost 67 million power, which at this point in the game, this sets us at the lower medium end. We have 59 out of 68 members. Alright, so by ourselves, we're not much of a threat to any of the big dogs. What we are is big enough not to be messed with without a reason. And that's something to keep in mind, right? These other players are, generally speaking, also going to be aware that if they cause mischief, if they cause trouble, that's time out of their day, that's energy that they're having to spend. It might not be action points, but it is troops and resources that they're going to have to put back in. So one of the most intelligent things you can do in this game is not be a jerk, right? You don't have to be a saint, but don't be a jerk. And if you do have to be a jerk, make sure you have the power to be a jerk. Because it only takes a couple of people to overcome someone that is high power, quote unquote. All right. But as an alliance, one of the things that you want to make sure is every time you see that, I'm going to go ahead and do the help first, but every time you see that number right next to these hands, make sure you tag that. That's going to speed up whatever allies are trying to get something built. It's a really, really high value thing. In our case, and I'll go to technology next, in our case, we have our tech Together We Rise maxed out. So for every time one of us assists another, that's 120 seconds knocked off, as well as 1% of whatever it is, the full duration of that. So if you're trying to upgrade your city hall and it's a full day, and you have your alliance at, where you can, or your alliance center where you can receive 15 assists. Well, if you have this tech maxed out, at 15 assists, you're going to get 2 minutes per, so that's 30 minutes knocked off, and then that's on top of 15% of the overall time. So you're going to knock off 15% of the day, and then on top of that, an additional 30 minutes. That's a really, really big help for you as well as every one of your alliance members. Whenever you go to your research, you'll notice that it automatically took us to this page, and that's because this has the officer's recommendation. So your rank 4s and rank 5s are going to be able to choose a technology that they want everybody to invest the time in to give the best advantage to the overall alliance. And that's basically the best way to make sure that you're getting these full techs completed and being able to get the rewards from them. Here you're going to see gifts. Whenever a fort is taken down, or a Lohar, which is one of the events, you're going to have access to a reward from it. On the normal rewards, you can actually just walk over here and click Claim All, and that'll claim all the ones that are available to you. A screen will pop up, and I'll show you what you get for it. You'll see these keys and these triangles. The keys go down here, and what this does is once it's full, every one of the alliance is going to get this chest. It doesn't tell you what's in it, but it is relative to this level. And so these triangles are going to increase that level. Over here you've got your rares. Rare chests are accomplished by people buying chests in-game, which is in that gem icon up here. If they come over and they buy one of these, that's going to or one of these, that's going to give everyone in the alliance some reward. With that in mind, we're going to go ahead and call this video, but the thing is, just keep in mind that you don't have to do everything perfect. You just have to know what the best thing is that you can do to help yourself and your alliance, because by helping your alliance, you're going to help yourself. The stronger they are, the stronger you are. And the moment that you put yourself over the alliance is the moment that you are hurting everyone. And if you have an alliance with 60, 70, 80 members, well, now that's demonstrating a very high level of selfishness. It's important to make sure that you take care of your people that are taking care of you. Selfishness is only going to go so far in a group dynamic. Eventually people are going to get fed up with it. You're going to find yourself without an alliance. So make sure you take care of your people so that they can take care of you. Together, you're strong. Individually, even with me being at 3 million power on a newer server, it would only take 1, 2 of the guys in my alliance to be able to bring me down to nothing, And with that in mind, it's best that I have those friends. If for no other reason, purely for the selfish reasons. Forget the social construct of just being a good person. But if nothing else, just for me, it makes more sense to play with the intent of helping my neighbor than it does for me to go in here with the idea that screw them, yay me. Alright? So keep that in mind. Grow with your alliance. Work with them. You're going to get a lot of value out of it. There's also some really cool, opportunities to make friends. There's an annoying alarm. Sorry about that. Alright. So keep that in mind, and you're going to get a lot of growth opportunity. There's one more thing I forgot to mention earlier, and that's in here. In the trading post, once you have that built, you'll have an opportunity from time to time to go into the Lucerne scroll. If you are going to spend money, even if you're not going to spend money, you want to go in here and you want to accomplish these things because you'll have access to this top row. If you are going to spend money, the $4.99 pack for this is going to give you access to everything on this bottom row that you earn the points to acquire. It's 100 points per level. Over here you'll see the challenges that you can get as well as what those are going to give you. There's weekly, and those will stay up until the end. So week 1 can still be done in week 5, but they won't open new ones until that week is over. And then on top of that, there's also the season challenge, and these ones are going to give 400 Lucerne points apiece for accomplishing them. Some of them are just as simple as logging on once a day. That's fairly simple. You're also going to get 50 points per day that you get at least, let's see, there we go, at least 50 action points, which is going to be up here on this one. So if you do at least 50 activity points a day, you'll go back to that Lucerne scroll, and you're going to get 50 Lucerne points for it. Alright, with them only being 100, even if you don't accomplish a single challenge, in 30 days you're going to be level 15. You're going to get access to everything previous to this. And that's assuming you did absolutely nothing except get those activity points bare minimum. If you spent $4.99 to get the value from the bottom portion, the Divine Inheritance, then that's going to give you a lot more. Once again, do not spend what you don't have. Make sure that if you are going to spend money in this game, that you're doing it responsibly. But if you are going to do it, like myself, I treat this game like it's a subscription game. So World of Warcraft or one of those games like that, I only spend about $15 a month. So $4.99 is going to give me a lot of value out of this game, and then that gives me the opportunity to find something else for my $10. Keep that in mind. Enjoy the game, and I hope to see you in the next video. Good hunting.